letting go. Letting go has been like a thorn in my side my entire life. And I have learned a lot about letting go in the last couple of years. And I just wanted to share that with you so that you have a better understanding of letting go and why it is so difficult to do. You, first of all, I also found out that the word surrender works for me a lot better than letting go. All the times that I have heard people say, you need to let go, just let go, just let go. I have a Taurus rising, okay? I'm not letting go of anything, especially if you get me pissed. If I get mad, I have a very, very hard time letting go of that anger. I have a tendency to push things off, push things off, push things off. I don't I don't want to I don't want to be a nag. I don't want to be like griping about things all the time. But there's some things, and I will say, look, I don't like this. This bothers me. Can you not do this? Or can you change the way you do it? Or whatever it is, if it's something that's affecting me, that's, maybe somebody in the family or husband, boyfriend, whatever. And once I say that, and I'll say it very calmly and very rationally, and I'll give you very specific reasons why it's bothering me. And if you ignore me and you continue to do it, every time you do it, I'm going to get increasingly more pissed. I just am. Because you don't have any respect for my feelings, is what you're basically saying. You're saying, I'm going to continue to do this, even though I know it drives you crazy, even though I know you don't like it. It's basically the same thing as saying, I don't have any respect for what you want or what you desire. I don't have any respect for you. What matters to me is what I want to do. So the word surrender started making more sense to me rather than letting go. And I don't know exactly why I prefer surrender, but I do, and I still do. But the problem with both, specifically the problem with the words let go, that I found is that you can't let go of anything until you heal whatever is causing that problem. We have, childhood wounds, we have teenage wounds, we have parent wounds, we have, all these things that have happened throughout our life. And if we are not actively healing those things, we carry them throughout our life, and they keep affecting us and affecting us and affecting us, and we don't understand why. To say to somebody who has a childhood wound, just let go, even a 2-year-old, okay? Tell a 2-year-old to let go when they get mad. And there are some people who can let go easier than other people. I was never one of those people. It did not come easy for me. If I get to a certain level of annoyed or angry, I have to go away for a while and just be by myself and think it through. Otherwise, it'll take me a week to let go of something. And I know that's not healthy, but I can't let go of whatever it is. And I'm not really sure why I'm hanging on to it. Years later, after much dark night of the soul, much work on my issues, I realized that the reason I couldn't let go was because I hadn't healed the wounds from the past. And I think that is a pretty common situation for people. I think knowing what wounds are there is difficult. How to heal those wounds is even more difficult. I mean, if you know that your mother was a certain way or your father was a certain way with you, and it really had a traumatic effect on you, you may know that there's a wound. You may know that that needs to be healed, but you may have absolutely no idea how to heal it. Spirit, your guides, your guardian, God can help you heal those wounds. But you have to learn how to communicate with Spirit, with your guardian, in order to figure that part out. And that is something that is scary to some people or not of interest to some people. Some people decide to go to psychiatrists, psychologists, people who work in those industries to try and figure out where their wounds are and how to fix them. Forgiveness kind of works. But what I found, long story short, what I found over the years is that putting myself first, making my needs number one importance, was a huge key. And the biggest part was healing all those wounds from the past. And I do not believe that you can learn to let go quickly, get over things fast, progress forward, forgive. I don't think you can do that unless you can heal the wounds from the past. A lot of times, things that make us upset or angry or, whatever it is that we need to let go of, we're not even really completely sure why we feel the way we feel. And that is an indication that we feel that way because of an unhealed wound. Maybe it's people don't listen to you. You feel like people don't listen. That would be, but people do listen. You just don't feel like they actually do. Maybe they don't take your advice, which would be an indication that they don't listen, especially if your advice is really good. But I don't think it comes from that particular situation, because you can offer advice. If somebody takes it, that's great. If they don't take it, it's on them. They can't come back 5 months from now and say, gee, I would, well, they can. They can come back and say, I wish I had listened. But they don't usually do that. They don't usually do that. They come to cry on your shoulder more about something that you warned them about in the first place. But it's possible that your parents didn't listen. There were parents have a hard time listening to their kids. I hate to tell you that, but There are a lot of parents who don't listen to their kids. Their kids can say things and they just kind of brush it off um like it's unimportant, or it's in the child's imagination, or it has to become a problem before it's dealt with. Anyway, flash forward, you grow up, you still have this feeling like nobody listens. And every time you tell somebody something and they don't listen, you feel it. You get angry, or you feel upset because you've told them and they didn't listen. And it just confirms that feeling that you had when you were a child, that people didn't listen. That is a childhood wound. And you may be aware of that. And if you are aware of that, you can heal it. And once you heal it, then you won't think people don't listen. And you won't get upset if they don't listen. You'll realize it's on them. I gave you the advice, you didn't want to listen. Not my problem. So once you heal the wound, you can let go. But healing those traumas, healing those wounds from your childhood or your teenage years or your even your adult years, early adult years, you got to heal those wounds before you can learn how to let go. And personally, I prefer the word surrender over let go. For some reason, when somebody says let go to me, it makes me mad. It's like, I'm not done being mad. I'm not done with this issue. I'm not done, being in this place. When I get done being in this place, then I'll let go. To me, if you say surrender, it is much easier to surrender, to just let it go. And it's kind of the same thing, but for some reason, for me, the word surrender allows me to take a deep breath and just relax. Where the word let go, or the words let go, make me mad. It's like, no, I'm not ready to let it go. So anyway, finding out what your key problems are when when you get upset, when you get angry, when you get frustrated, when you those are probably the two most common, where in your day-to-day life something comes up and you feel angry about it. Try to think back to times that you've been angry. Like, has this been a repeating pattern? Has this something that, is this something that always makes you angry? And if it is, you can bet that there is something in your past, maybe even before you were even conscious of it. Like you think back and you say, well, I don't remember it ever being an issue. Well, we have this wonderful ability to block out the things that cause us pain, especially when we're kids. So if there is a reoccurring pattern, go back to childhood. If you can figure out who caused the pain or what situation caused that wound, you can better deal with it. If you can't, find somebody who can help you do that. There is no shame in asking for help, and you will be a much better person for it. And realize that you're not probably going to be able to surrender or let go until you figure out and heal whatever that wound is. Once you do that, once you heal all your wounds, once you heal all of your wounds, then you will easily be able to get in a situation where you're not exactly happy, but you will realize you'll come at it from a completely different place. You won't come at it as a reaction. You will actually look at it differently, and you will be able to let go, surrender, forgive much quicker and much easier. And you won't be dragging all that stuff that you've been dragging around for years into the present. And that is the key of letting go. From somebody who has a hard time letting go, you really have to go and do the work. You got to go and heal those wounds before you will be able to just let go and relax. And I am so glad that I have done it and that my life isn't filled with that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, I just went through a major let go, a major healing on multiple different issues. And now I don't have that. I don't have that feeling. Well, I also got rid of a lot of people who were driving me absolutely insane too, but that's another thing. You want to make sure if you are getting triggered quite a bit, make sure that the people that you're hanging around with aren't jerks. Okay? Don't label yourself as having an issue before you look at the people that are hanging around you and decide if they're just not very insensitive people, because that happens as well. So you might need to do some house cleaning on friends and family. Anyway, I hope that helped. Take care.